Well, hello. It is me, Carty. Welcome to a very special Friday episode of Ask a Photo Pro. Today we are doing photo reviews. I had a job yesterday, so I couldn't shoot, but I'm here for you to make up that episode Friday at 5 o'clock instead of 6, so I don't spend my entire Friday night podcasting, because I gotta tell you, I'm still painting. Man, I have one more room to paint in this house, and it's like, this has taken a minute, I gotta tell you. And my back, when you're young, if you're young, man, just thank your lucky stars, because I gotta tell you, like, the pain from going up and down when you're an older dude, you feel it. You feel it for days. I feel like I've been beaten with a baseball bat. Oh, all from painting, moving garbage, moving boxes, like all of that stuff. So for the old folks out there, power on. Get out your Robaxa set in A535 and Arnica gel. All right, so also some things I've been thinking about, talking to the team about the Carty crew mods and staff. I'm starting this pro group. But the thing that's amazing with this new platform that I'm putting the pro group on, I have the ability of having multiple communities, and with some recent people having their accounts almost hacked on Discord and other people not even really understanding Discord, I'm thinking very hard about abandoning Discord as a format or a platform for my community altogether. I'm literally this close to just scrapping the Discord and bringing everything over to the Carty method. You just log on and see all the digital tools that you have, see all my education, all my information. If you're part of the pro group, you log into the pro group section. If you're part of the submission level, you log into the submission. And what that means is that I would actually be stopping the YouTube submission level altogether. It means I would like people who are submitting, you would still be paying $10. You would just not be giving it to YouTube, you'd be giving it to me. And YouTube would take none of that percentage, which is amazing. And also, it's like, it helps me actually maintain this new platform that I'm literally building from the ground up. So, I mean, not exactly from the ground up, like the skeleton is there, but I'm definitely building it from the ground up. So I'm interested in your thoughts. Leave a comment. Would you, if you're a Discord member and you're active, would you join leave Discord and join a community where everyone else is going? Yeah, that's a question. And also, because again, Discord is free. It's free for me to run Discord, although I pay to boost it a little bit. I pay and many people pay to boost my server. There's nothing necessary there, but I'm thinking what if I made it $1 a month? What if I made it $1 to belong to my photography community? Formerly a free community, maybe it's now a $1 a month community. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on that. I'm going to be talking to my mods, talking to the staff, talking to the consultants and coaches, and hear what my people have to say and hear what you have to say, because your opinion is incredibly important to me. So I need that as well. Make sure you leave me a comment and let me know what your thoughts are about me scrapping the photo submission level and just letting you join at a photo submission level, my photo submission community, and then submit photos that way. What do you think about that? Streamlines it, makes it a lot easier, for me to look at, and I can just also put more resources for you, more educational material in this one spot, and I think it's going to be better than Discord. I started with Discord with gaming, and that's why I kind of migrated it over. And until I was like making any kind of profit with this, I was it was costing me money to be on YouTube. It was costing me money. So anywhere where I could like save money and building out my community. Yeah, I'm just hoping that you guys are down with migrating. So, Jay Williams says $1 might stop people from coming in and checking things out. Like that's definitely. And then Kurt is saying I recommend charging 6 to 12 months at a time instead of monthly. That's also very, very big brain. Very big brain. I appreciate those two insights, because again, Steven says $1. I don't know. That's a lot. And Jay says YouTube doesn't need a cut, and yes, he'll support me. So thank you, guys. Thank you, by the way, for watching me live and tuning in with me on a day that I don't really ever stream. I don't think that I've done a live stream on a Friday like forever. But we know why you're here, guys. You're here for the real photo reviews. Again, please leave your comments with your insights. I appreciate you guys dropping your comments right now in chat, but I need to archive. Well, chat's harder to keep track of than my YouTube comments. So you leave a YouTube comment, and that might help me greatly. All right, let's start with today's assignment. And by the way, I'm going to read to you what the weekly assignment was. This week's weekly assignment was shoot a natural light hero cover of your favorite person. So a portrait in natural light. If you're a product photographer, you could also shoot your favorite person or take a hero portrait of your favorite item. So, it doesn't have to be outside. It could be inside. It could be on location, or it could be inside, but it had to be natural light. That means no artificial light, no strobes, no LED lights, no mixed light. You can only use a reflector. So, and, my request was the shot was to be shot vertical. So let's see. Make sure everybody followed the brief. This is Colin. Colin is a portrait photographer. I mean, Colin is a product photographer. My bad, Colin. I literally meant to say product and portrait shot out of my face. So Colin, as I was looking at your portrait, a portrait of you. Colin, this is Colin from Arresting Photos. Colin, thanks for submitting. This is Colin's hero image. Like, the color combination is really good. The fact that this is a heavily used controller, like Super Nintendo system, looks like you've had this forever. The request was photograph your favorite object, make a hero image of it. You definitely dropped me a cover. I mean, spatially, watch this edge here. Make sure that you're centered, like you're not biased too far this way, which you are just a touch. And this edge is just a little bit claustrophobic. So watch that. Your horizon line doesn't bother me. I like the fact that you dropped your horizon just a little bit lower in the frame. If you were to make an 8x10, my suggestion would be to take it off the bottom. So you're dropping this controller even lower in the frame. But I like it. This is a win for me. It's super simple. I mean, Colin, you've blown me away with your light. This is a natural light photo. So as far as it being a natural light photo, I think you won for this one, man. Like, this is pretty sick. That is Colin from Arresting Photos. Thank you, Colin, for submitting. Appreciate you, my guy. Let's look at Sebastian K. Sebastian, hello, beautiful people. This is my favorite person, my girlfriend, Eugene. Always have a problem with hero shots because they're too much only a cover photo. I wish you all an amazing day. They're not always just a cover photo. ISO 100, 35mm, 2.8. 6/40th of a second. This is Sebastian Kawaka. Sebastian, thanks for submitting. This is a beautiful picture, Sebastian. I mean, nice low horizon line, nice editorial photograph, nice editorial feeling. I like the way that you photographed her in open shade. I do notice that you crouched down just a little bit, so you elevated her, but you're also, her chin is up. You have to watch that we're not shooting too much under the chin area. The secret is if you can see underneath here, the head is too high or you're too low. To always like adjust the head so it comes back down. Your girl has such a strong jawline, but you're losing that jawline because her chin is up, and then you're actually losing her chin because what we're trying to see is it come down this way and then see the bottom of the chin, but you're seeing underneath. That's my only criticism for this photo. Honestly, Sebastian, everything else is really dynamic. I like the mixed light and the dappling of the sun that you have coming through here, but you still maintain detail. You have good exposure on her. I mean, back here, by the way, is another great background. Like this wall of green would have been where I took her into that shade right there. I know that that's a street. I'm not sure how busy that street would be, but I would have stood her right here and put her right up against this tree, and then, oops, that's a bad straight line, and then cut my frame here, 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 here. So yeah, that's where I would have snuck. But again, overall, this is like, I really like what you did with the trees coming in here too. It's a great shot, Sebastian. Again, it's like photography at some point too, like how we use locations. Just because I say that's what I would have done, I gravitate towards the monochromatic. It's just like a personal style thing. I think you did a great job. That is Sebastian Kawaka. Good deal. All right, let's see Miss Jennifer. Under the bridge in natural 5 p.m. sunlight. Sony A7R3, 60th of a second, f4, ISO 200, with an 85 millimeter lens. This is Miss Jennifer's favorite person. Miss Jennifer, what a portrait. What a portrait. And again, I know you are the product photographer, and I'm really proud of you getting out of your comfort zone shooting a portrait. This is really, really strong. I mean, you chose to shoot him in shade, which is great. You got great exposure here, Jennifer. Like, the exposure is proper. This area here is hot. This is like +1, but that's what happens when now you're in shade at 5 o'clock where he's getting direct sun hitting the side of his face. I'm proud of you for not exposing the highlight side and actually exposing the shadow side as you're supposed to. You did a great job here. Honestly, this is a great shot. Watch the color balance. This is a gray shirt. Make sure that you're grabbing the color balance here, and so it doesn't go like green. It has like a little bit of a cast. And lastly, on stream, this is, by the way, the leading line that you have happening here. It's like, this is like an 11 out of 10 location. Honestly, like a very, very great location, Jennifer. You should be thrilled. And sorry, there's one last thing that I was going to say before this like location just really blew me away. Oh yes, I know what I was going to say. The moire effect. You see in here on stream right now, these lines, this is called the moire effect. And the moire effect happens when you shoot vertical lines. Like this shirt, although it seems like it's just a gray shirt, when you look at it close up, you see that it's just a bunch of different dots like next to each other and contrast colors. So for our eye reads it as gray, but our cameras see this and it does this weird pattern. It's called the moire effect. So this is something that I want you to watch, and you notice how when I do at different sizes, it shows the moire effect differently. So sadly, when this is a thumbnail on Instagram or on any screen, you're gonna see this moire effect through here. So one thing to watch when you're shooting, like you notice the fabric that I'm wearing isn't doing the moire effect because this heather sort of sweatshirt material doesn't do it. But if it was like vertical stripes this way that are so close that you can't even really tell it's gray, I'll even show you here. By the way, Jennifer, this shot for me is an 11 because I know it's outside your comfort zone. Great job. But I just want to show you a little bit more on the moire effect. So this is a thing, like all of these patterns create moire, and it's basically like this dancing of like lines that are incredibly difficult to, like, you can't retouch that, eh? Like, look, it looks like it's alive because the like screens can't reconcile this. So you can see moire effect here. Yes, Stephen C. Someone has a question. Who's got a question for me? So anyways, yes, this is the moire effect. You have to watch it, and it's something that is like, it could be the bane of your existence if you don't pay attention. Is there a way to keep that from happening? Absolutely. It's called have rules. No stripes, no patterns. It's like, and literally, if it's a blue shirt or a pink shirt, or like, have them look really closely. Thanks, Damien. Thanks for becoming a subscriber. Have them look, we just talked on the telephone. Have them look really closely at the fabric and make sure there's not like two different fabric colors that are making up the color that they're seeing. So like so many shirts do that. So many button down shirts do that. If you're shooting a wedding, tell the groom, make sure that the shirts are solid, not pinstriped. And it's like they're solid, and then you look at it and the pinstripes are so tight that at a distance they look solid, but when you shoot it, it looks like the moire effect. So there's no way to avoid it. You actually have to there's no way to avoid it. Like, you have to tell people you can't wear that. You can't wear that. It's going to give the moire effect, and then show them what it means and show them what it does. So, and you can see it right away on the back of your camera. By the way, without enlarging, take a picture, look at the back of your camera, you can see the moire effect. So like, you gotta watch that for sure. All right, let's go on to the next. This is calligraphy. Oh, this is beautiful. Calligraphy says, I usually don't shoot on location and I still have much to learn. Here's my first step in that process with my natural light submission for this week's edition of BTP magazine. Bird watching with my favorite person. Took this photo during sunset just before a small storm. Z8, 85mm, f2, 100th of a second, ISO 400. Using a Gitzo tripod with a Manfrotto 3-way head. This is calligraphy. Calligraphy, let's go. What a beautiful photograph, calligraphy. This is 100% yes for me. Like, this is everything. Vicky with the gifted. Let's go, Vicky. I don't even have my smoke machine on. Vicky, let's go. Thank you for gifting. I knew I forgot something. I have to close the door so the smoke alarm sometimes has gone off before. Vicky, thank you for gifting a membership. Nikki, you just got gifted by your girl Vicky, and Nikki's in chat. Very generous of you, Vicky. So as I was saying earlier, the Carty Crew memberships here on YouTube are not going to stop. I'm going to keep that going, but I am definitely going to shift the photo review for people who want photo reviews. We're going to move that to the Carty Method website. This is 100% a win for me, Calligraphy. It really is. It's a strong cover. It's an incredibly strong cover. It's she's got poise. It's got great color composition. Her skin, the natural light, like this is excellent. And the focus, like everything about this is really, it wins for me. And the fact that you're outside your comfort zone also makes me happy. It also makes me happy. So this is a yes for me. This is a yes, Calligraphy. Congratulations. This is definitely 11. That is Calligraphy. Great. The exposure is like how I'll be like completely truthful. This exposure is under by like probably 2/10 of a stop. It's not under by a third, but it's under. But it's okay because it works with this image. This is the whole thing about exposure, is like you have to know what normal is, but sometimes things are brighter, sometimes things are a little bit darker than normal. But this wins for me, Calligraphy. Good job. All right, we're rolling. All right, let's move. Next, Kai. My wife is my favorite person, and her favorite thing is coffee. So, photo shoot in a coffee shop, natural light, R5C, 50 millimeter, a 60th of a second, 2.5 at ISO 200. This is Kai. Let's go, Kai. Thanks for submitting. Favorite person? Okay, so a couple of things here when you're shooting natural light, like you aimed into the sun, and because of that, her face isn't lit. The sunlight is coming from this direction. Same pose, same everything, but don't try to include the window. Essentially, you have her rotate around on the chair that way, and you come around this way and shoot her this way. And then she's getting front light. She's getting front light with this floor to ceiling window. Like once you now shoot and try to include the window, like first of all, unless you're really using exposure compensation, you're exposing out here and actually getting underexposure happening here on her skin. So yes, you're creating backlighting. Now, this slat wall is so great, and you'll also get this slat wall if you stand right here where the window is. If you stand where the window is and aim this way, now the wall of light is behind you. Your girl is there. You have the slat wall running across your right side, and you can give a little bit of lifestyle of what's happening in the cafe behind her. So for me, that's what missed. And also the way that she's holding the cup, she's faking. Like, it's not a lifestyle picture, it's a pose. And the difference is so subtle, but she's posing. She's not really drinking the cup. She's not blowing on it. She's posing. And in fact, I'm not even convinced that there's something in that cup. In fact, I think that cup's empty. I think that you just grabbed that cup as a prop and it's empty and you did that shot. So for all of those reasons, it's like, I don't believe it. It's like she has to have coffee because she's going to hold it differently when it's a full cup of hot coffee. And you're going to see steam coming from it. And all of those things from like when you shoot like lifestyle, it has to be real people doing real things, shot in a stylized way. It can't be real people doing fake things shot in a overdone way. Like that starts to like cross the line. And again, because the light's coming from behind Kai, you're starting to get shadows on her face because she's turning away from where the light is. So now you're getting pockets of shadow on her face that wouldn't be there if she was lit straight on. So rule number one with natural light, like especially if you're shooting inside, start with the window behind you. Start there. That's like first day. It's going to give you insane light. Like I will show you, this is window light behind me. Like look at the eyes. You can see I'm standing right there and you can see I have a bank of windows behind me. And look at this skin tone. Look at the skin tone. Like that's how you do it. So it's just about how you're using the window, Kai. And for me, this one, she's backwards. It's like the other way. And again, you even had chairs there. You had the space. It's like, I want to see you literally reshoot this picture, go to and send it and post it and just chatting. For sure. Watch the backlighting. It gets you every time. That is Kai. Thanks for submitting, Kai. All right, who's next? Ammon. So, great timing last week. Just as you're telling us my next week's assignment, my favorite person walks in with a fresh from the salon, getting her hair done. Sun's in a nice spot, so I jumped, grabbed my camera, and let's go. So, my wife is lovely and loving. Wow, nice glitch. Thankfully, I have her every day in my life. Fuji X-T5 Viltron 27mm 1.2, shot with 125 ISO, 1/125th of a second, and 4.5, and with a reflector underneath. This is Ammon. Ammon, nice flick. Nice, great shot. Like, really nice energy from her. Really nice focus. What I want you to watch is your contrast. I think contrast is a factor when it comes to shooting black and white and shooting skin tone. One thing you have to always watch is when you go in tight on her skin, like I need more of a separation of tone between her skin and her hair. And if you also look at the background, we don't have that like jet black that we need. Like I need that jet black in here and it's not quite there. Her teeth are whiter, but because of the exposure or because of your processing, we're not getting her teeth as snappy as we could, her skin tone as snappy as we could. So it's a small thing. Like this is an amazing shot that could be really like brought back to life just through processing. Excuse me, just through processing. I should have got a drink before I started today. Jeez Louise. So what we can do also, you heard me say earlier today, have to watch the head angle. Make sure that our head angles when you're shooting your subjects, that they don't go too high. It's a natural thing because subjects want to pull back. Some of them do it this way. Men like JFK go back into the left. Whenever you take a picture of a guy, he goes like this. You know what I mean? Especially black dudes. You know what I mean? So what we have to do, women do either, they do either this, they pull in, or they hold their head too high. So it's up to us to correct. So essentially this is flat. We're trying to be at like this angle. So our face has to be just down just a little bit. And what that does is it hides under here. And what I tell my subjects to do is pretend you're putting your chin on a table. Like that. And then go lower. So that's what I do when I tell my subjects. And that means when you're shooting, make sure that you're not able to see under here. Make sure that you see chin. And then the chin goes back up. And then what that does is it creates a shadow under here and separation between the head and the neck. So small things, but like, Emmett, this is such a strong portrait. It's so joyful. The light is God sent. It's beautiful. It's just small little tweaks for you to watch when it comes to the head angle. And I think honestly, the next time you shoot, the next time all of you shoot portraits, just watch your head angle. That's all. It's a small thing, but I think it makes all the difference. All right, that was Ammon. Ammon, thank you for submitting. All right. Let's get this camera position right. It's not quite, I'm not centered properly. I'm trying to hide the fact that my door's open. There we go. You know, this whole thing is in the wrong spot. This whole set is wrong right now. Look, my sign's getting cut off and there it is. That camera's supposed to be there. I'm supposed to be centered. You understand how hard it is to set up for these? Oh my goodness. Word. And now you see, I see my door. 2 cameras, big problems. All right. Let's see who is next. Let's see who's next here. Stuart. Had so much fun. This is my wife of 30 years. We drove out to where the natural landscape that I typically shoot. Had a difficult time just picking one. R6 7210 or 7200. Shot at 5.6 ISO 100 800th of a second at around 182 millimeters. This is Stuart. Thanks for submitting, Stuart. Favorite person, natural light portrait. Great. There's some small things, Stuart, that I'm going to teach you when it comes to shooting natural light on location. Number one, the time of day that you're shooting this is high noon. Like you're shooting this when the sun is like up here. And it is aiming straight down. How I can tell that is by how radical down the shadows on the face are going. This is the arm of the glasses. You can tell, like you just draw a straight line and obviously light travels in a straight line. And I can tell it's not exactly 12 noon, but based on her nose, oops, that's not the right tool. That's not the right tool at all. Based on her nose shadow, we'll just draw a little line here through her nose. The sun is right there. And it's in the front. So because the sun's in the front and it's so hard and undiffused, it's like this creates mixed light. And mixed light is where you have sun and shadow on the same face. So how we counter that is we don't shoot where the sun is, we shoot where the sun isn't, meaning open shade. Open shade is your friend on location. And honestly, not shooting in open shade or shooting in mixed light it becomes impossible. And even if you look at your wife's eyes beyond the sunglasses, you can see full raccoon eyes. Like her eyes are covered because the sun is coming so hard from the top. Like she couldn't be outside without sunglasses. She'd be like, so when your model, your subject is like this, that's not the location. Secret time. That's not the spot you put them in. And also not the time of day that you make that photo. So if you're let's see what you're trying to do, Stuart. In this picture, if you're trying to show this background, it's the wrong time of day because the sun is not right on her face to shoot this background. And then also, if this is the most important person, if this is the most important scenario in this photo, her, shoot your favorite person, why are you shooting her here in the wrong light? So it becomes really difficult, but you have to watch my natural light masterclass. Like I talk so much about how to choose the right location when it comes to right here. Watch this video, and when you see me in this video, and when you see the places that I take the model to shoot, like she's in an underhang. When you see me in an area where, like here's another example. You see me in a spot where there's sun here, I'm shooting her where the sun isn't. Like these are the things and the nuances, Stuart, that you really have to pay attention to when it comes to location photography, because most people would put her here and shoot that way. Or worse still, put her here and shoot that way using cross light, which is going to create mixed light on the face. I put her in open shade, and it generates completely even light. Like look at what the scenario looked like. You see all of a car, you see all of this distraction that's happening in the background, and I put her in the one piece of shade next to the monochromatic thing, and you don't see the truck. And when you look at the end and see what the work looks like, you see this is what the work looks like when you shoot in open shade. Like this is the secret, is you shoot in shade. Look at the skin tone when you shoot not where the sun is, but where the sun isn't. Like this is the whole point about this natural light masterclass is how to choose the right spot, because this isn't the spot, Stuart. This isn't close to the spot. And once you find the right, like shoot where the sun isn't, because the sun's never in the right spot. It's in the right spot for an hour on each time, like an hour after sunrise, an hour before sunset. It's the only time. And if you're shooting any of the other times, sun's in the wrong spot. So you're shooting portraits, sun's in the wrong spot. So don't you shoot where the sun isn't. Shoot in shade, and then you get photography. So that's tip for somebody I know that like portraits you're new to, but it's then go out with her again. Go out with her again, and don't, when I'm saying natural light, don't look for sun, look for shade. That is the secret. And also non-distracting backgrounds. You're shooting her, you're not shooting back here. It's all out of focus anyways. So photograph her in such a way where she's featured. And like you put her against a background that she's not competing with. You put her against a monochromatic nothing background in shade so you can actually see her. That's how you do it. I hope that brought you value. That is Stuart from Reflections. This is Scuba Steve, Natural Light Portrait. So he says, as you can imagine, my soon-to-be 3-year-old son's impossible to capture, but he's my favorite person on the planet. So he was able to capture some magic. So Canon R6 Mark II 50mm, shot at a 125th, 3.2, ISO 6400. I don't know if you had to go 6400, Steve, but I mean, maybe. But the photograph is fantastic. So you're winning, my guy. This is great. So great. This is the kind of photography that I beg for. It truly is. This is the kind of photography that I beg for. This makes me so happy, Steve, because again, I'm hard on you because I know what you're capable of. The only reason that I'm hard on you, Steve, is because I know what you're capable of. This is a fantastic capture. It's so real. Like, and by the way, in case you're wondering about like camera quality, this is the R6 Mark II at 3200 ISO. Okay? Like, not every camera looks like this at 3200. My camera looks like this at 3200 because I shoot the R5. My camera looks better than this at 3200 ISO. But the moment, Steve, the light, the exposure, the reflection, the discipline, it's all here. This is an absolute 11 out of 10 for me, my guy. Welcome back. This is a banger. Amazing. And this will make it to your portfolio. This is fantastic. Stephen C. Swinging for the fences. You see the difference, Stephen, by the way? You feel it? You feel the difference? Like, and you picked the right shot. So I don't know if you picked it on your own or if you used the peer reviews, but good job. Good job. You got me smiling, my guy. It's good. And by the way, secret time. I don't look at any photos before the episode. So what you're seeing right now is my actual reaction when I'm seeing these photographs for the first time. I think it's really important to maintain authenticity, and I'm a terrible liar, so I just don't do it. Like, I just don't do it. Yo, B Unlimited upgraded to photo submission level. Let's go. Congratulations. Thank you for doing that. And literally, we are going to be sending out a press release talking about how we are migrating all of this off of the submission level. We're going to be migrating that off into a whole new thing. But I can't do that without your help. Like, you're going to have to, like, anyways, we're going to talk about it. I'll have to send her an email. Make sure you're on my mailing list, by the way. All right, let's get into Steven. That was great. Scuba Steve, big picture. Tom Fox, my biggest fan, my biggest inspiration, my number one supporter, my favorite person. Without her, I would have never picked up a camera. I'm afraid to think of where I'd be if I'd never met her. So sweet, Tom. Nikon Z6 400 sorry. Damn it. The Nikon Z6 40mm 3.2, 3/20th of a second, ISO 200. This is Tom Fox. Let's go, Tom Fox. Well, this is a click. Great capture, bro. Really nice. I really love the sensibility. Let me just get my masthead sized here. I really like the sensibility. It feels right. The light is right. This almost like halo glow effect from the light hitting this building is such a nice like offset to looking at her. And also like the focus is really tight, really strong. The color balance that you used, I enjoy. Like, I'm not sure exactly what you're doing in post, but it feels right. It's not overdone. It's like, this is just 100% an 11 for me. This is a banger, Tom. I like this a lot. It's easy. You know, it's an easy photo. It's an easy photo. It's easy to digest. It's believable and it's likable. So it's just a yes for me. Again, watch your head angles. Although her head angle, it works for me because of the attitude and the energy of the vibe. But just always try to like adjust. And make sure their subject's not pulling back, they're projecting forward. It's just this small little tweak with head angle. You'll have women loving you as a photographer. Help them rock solid that jaw and take away any kind of double chin or whatever under there. All they got to do is stick their chin out and put it down like they're putting it on a table. That's kind of the vibe. All right, that is Tom Fox. Let's go. See ya. Who's next? How's our time? We're doing all right. We're moseying along. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. I do these photo reviews oh my goodness, nice head. And yeah, and my chat controls my stream. So like literally my chat glitches me. They do all this stuff. Like, in case you're thinking you got sent back to 1995 or something like that, or something wrong with TV. No, this is just the people, my members, who are cracking me up here and hacking. All right. Doyle Daniels says, my favorite person is my mother. She loves to collect antiques and craft. Her house is literally a time vault. Shot her in her natural element. Fuji X-T5 50mm at f2 30th of a second at ISO 400. White reflector off camera to left. Natural light coming in from the window. Subject, mom. Wanted to get a bit of motion blur with her hands. But let's see what Doyle Daniels has for us. Let's go, Doyle. Thanks for submitting. Yeah, this is a flick, bro. I'm feeling this. This is definitely a vibe. Like, I love the squinty eyes, the focus. I mean, let me just take my camera away. The focus on her, I wouldn't call it soft at all. I would definitely say that this is passable. I love the position that she's sitting in. Like, the lower exposure is actually okay. This is another one of those images where, like, this is exactly what it looked like when you were there. Like, exactly what it looked like. And you could, like, you didn't lose any highlight detail. You maintain shadow detail in here. We have blacks, we have whites, we have good contrast. There's lots of stuff to look at. And this sharpness of this thread coming off this spool is just epic. This is a win for me. This is a win for me. This is a banger, Doyle. Honestly, like, truly such a sick picture. As a photographer, your portfolio is your voice in a visually crowded market. But are you confident that it's telling your story in the way that you intend? Many photographers struggle with showcasing their work effectively, often overlooking the power of a well-crafted portfolio. This is where my one-on-one portfolio review comes in. I'm offering you expert, personalized feedback on your work. With my 3 decades experience in pro photography, I bring you a discerning eye to your portfolio, helping you refine and package your work to make a lasting impact. We'll dive into the nuances of your style, the strengths of your composition, and the overall narrative of your portfolio in general. My focus will be on elevating your work, ensuring that it not only represents your skill, but also captivates an intended audience. Don't let your work go unnoticed. Sign up for a one-on-one portfolio review and let's fine-tune your presentation to the world. You'll come away with concrete steps to enhance your portfolio, making it not just a collection of pictures, but a powerful tool to elevate your photography career. Book your session right now, and let's take the first step towards making your portfolio as amazing as your photography. Who's on deck? It is Durell. This one was simple, but hard to choose. It's my wife, Jeanette, closest person to my heart. and to the front of my camera, usually. Shot with the R6, 24 to 70, 800th of a second, 3.2 ISO 100. This is Durell with a natural light portrait. Durell, out of the ballpark for me, bro. This is an out of the ballpark capture. And I'm telling you, man, it's like you needed this photograph. I'm so happy that you made this photograph. Not only did you need to make this photograph in order to reconnect with your wife, you needed to make this photograph in order to to bring you back to the core of the reason that you're doing this. The look in her eyes, she's looking at your future. Like, really, she's looking at your future. And like, you need to bring that certainty to her face. You know, she's a little unsure, but the unsureness and the truthfulness and the rawness that you guys have, like, it's beautiful, honestly. And this is an absolute banger of a portrait. This is really great. Really, really great. I love the going into nothingness. Like, when you look in here, you just see nothing. You know, this little hint of a frame gives us context, so we know that she's leaning against a door frame. Really strong discipline with your lines. Your lines are super straight. Durell's back. Good shit. You better be smiling wherever you are, my guy. Let's go. Good job. Let's go. Well done, Durell. Yeah, you're not allowed to mail it in ever, really. This isn't just for me, by the way. It's not just for me. How I act is I act like the public. I just act like the public, an educated public, and also I act like an art director for a magazine. So you get the experience as if an art director gave you an assignment and you delivered that assignment. This is exactly what I'm going to tell you what art directors have said to me. And believe me, like, some of the things that art directors have said to me, like, it used to be different. People are like politically correct nowadays. Now, back then, no. It was like it was as simple as like, and it was print. So I would pass a print and it'd be like, no. And then he would pass it back to me. I'd be like, what? And he said, no. And then I'd be like, what do I do? He's like, shoot it again. I was like this art director acted as like a bridge from photography school into the industry. Like, he coached me and made me better. Because, oh my goodness, man, you think that I'm hard on your levels and how spectacular, how 11 it is, and how, you know what I mean? Imagine if money was at stake. Imagine if I hired you and this is what you were giving me. Like, you have to think of it like this. When I give you an assignment, you have to put stakes on it. Pretend I'm giving you money. Like, literally, pretend this is what trains you into assignment photography. Pretend that each time I give you an assignment, it also comes with $500 if you do it right. Think of it that way. It comes with $500, $1,000, $2,000 if you do it right. It's one image, so we'll call it $500, right? You start associating like that monetary role, and imagine if you win photo of the week, that's me paying you. That's me saying, there you go. I'd pay for that. It's Carty approved. You know what I mean? Like, and my bar is so much higher than the average client's bar. So, like, impress me, you'll be impressing everybody. Because I'm kind, I'm not nice. I'm not going to tell you something that's not at the level is at the level. I'm going to tell you, no. You know what I mean? Because I'm I'm very much like the industry. I'm giving it to you like the industry gives it to you. So better get it from me because it's a lot more gentle. Tony says, Carty, this is a photograph of my girlfriend Maria, made in the temples of Bali. It took me 2 days and roughly 500 frames to get the perfect picture. I was experimenting with locations, props, and adapting to various environments and lighting conditions. A week ago, my camera display died, so I had to shoot entirely through the viewfinder, even though I prefer to use the display. So first of all, get used to using the viewfinder because that's how we do it. Don't be looking back. Like, you need to anchor your body and the camera. That creates a tripod when you hold it to your eye. It doesn't when you're out here. So stability and for so many other reasons. And it might be time to upgrade. You know, you're a great photographer. You might have outgrown your gear. Might be time to upgrade, Tony, you know? So let's look at Tony's picture for Behind the Picture Travel Edition. This is beautiful, Tony. Really, really, really nice use of light. Really nice use of light. Look at this over-the-shoulder light happening. These streaks that are coming in here, this smoke is actually showing the light streak that's coming over her shoulder. This is a win for me. You didn't, like, there's no loss in detail in the hair where the highlights go. The exposure here, like, sure, this could go up like a third of a stop, maybe. But it doesn't need to. It's a win for me, Tony. This is a banger. Your consistency is amazing. Like, you're a location photographer. So me asking you to shoot a natural light location picture is what you do. So, like, my expectations of you is high here. What I like is you made a lifestyle photo. Is that you shot a picture of your girl, but you didn't shoot a portrait. You shot a lifestyle picture, which is way harder, which means you did the assignment, but you did another assignment at the same time. You did a lifestyle assignment while shooting a natural light picture of your favorite person. So you double entendres us, my guy. Well done, Tony. Let's go. Well done. It's Tony. He's a shooter. This guy. He's got a strong vision and a strong eye, and he's got consistency, and it's like it's working. It's showing and working and proving. This is Greg Fisk. My favorite person, my wife. We plan on traveling the States in 3 years, and we'll be in the photography business together. Well, Greg Fisk, is she watching me as well? I hope she's watching too. Hello. Hope you're watching as well. F4, 60th of a second, 85 millimeter, ISO 100, shot with the Lumix S5 Mark II. This is Greg Fisk. Greg, thank you for submitting. In front of a little white Corvette. This is a picture. I'm feeling this, actually. Like, as far as like a photographer image, as far as like just a cover, as far as a hero shot, the location, the use of light, like, I mean, this is a banger. It's a banger. Again, like, you know, as I said earlier, ladies do like to pull back, but I taught you all the trick today. Next time you photograph your wife, get her, rather than to pull back this way, to extend her chin out that way, and then just drop her chin a little bit, and her double chin will disappear. And it's a trick that you have to do. You have to use every time you shoot a subject. Like, get them to extend out and drop. That's the one thing that I notice, is that we see a little bit of her double chin just because she's pulling back, which is the natural thing that we all do. I said earlier in the episode. But the color combination, the white, the red, the green, the open shade, the dappling of the sun coming through the trees, this is all brilliant for me. It's a great job, Greg. Great job. Yeah, good. It's like the thing that's working for me is the fact that you guys are learning and you're progressing. You guys, meaning everybody who is submitting, all of you that are part of this whole system, you're learning. I can see it, and I can see the way that your mind is working when you're shooting. I can see the way that you're thinking about things that you've never thought about before you make photographs, which is great. I'm causing you to behave differently when you're in the act of photography, and you're getting better because of it. And it's a beautiful thing. Like, I want you to understand the reason that I'm able to do like 3-hour photo review shows is because I get such satisfaction from it. I get such joy from seeing you progress, from seeing you go from here and then here and then here and then like, I see it. It happens before my very eyes, and it's artful. Great for you, Greg. Good shit. All right. Mike Stimat says, my son Dylan had trouble picking my favorite person, so I chose my favorite photo that I made this week. R8 50mm 5.6 60th of a second ISO 100. This is Mike. Let's go. Let's have a look. It's a yes. It's a yes and it's a no. It's a tricky thing because I really love the idea. I love the idea, Mike. I like the reflection shooting in the glass. But then this car, it becomes such a dominating factor in the frame. Like, he's fighting with this car. They're both fighting. They both, like, you're splitting the frame. You didn't cut the car. You didn't cut the car down here. Or you didn't rotate yourself this way. So you can come in this way more and cut that car out altogether and like end on his shoulder. Like, I don't like, it looks like this is maybe there's another car there. Like, that's the tricky thing. Like, the idea of the reflection. Yes. 100% with you. Got it. But how far you can go with choosing the right reflection and the right location at the right time with like that, it starts to get like insane. And I'm trying to find I don't have that many photos on Instagram, but I do have this one photo that I shot like through glass. I wonder if it's still here. If I pinched it, I might have deleted it. Yeah, I don't think it's up here anymore. But there's ways to use shooting through glass to make it like really clever. You know, there's some like, this is a mirror. This is a rear view mirror on a car. Shot a portrait for a magazine. This is another way that I'm using a mirror. But like, shooting through glass, you have to be hyper aware of what else you see in the glass other than him. So for me, that's where we're missing. It's just the car. The car, to me, it's like, this is too dominating. This white little building structure back there is also distracting, and this becomes distracting. So doing this it's like two photos. You have to get him in the right decisive moment and him totally sharp and focused, and what's happening in the glass and reflecting has to be as interesting as what's happening through the glass. So it becomes super tricky. For me, exposure also here, Mike, is about it's under, like, I would say a half. So you got to increase the exposure here. I'd be interested in seeing some of your other frames, but I want you to be hyper aware of like distractions around your subjects when you're shooting your portraits. You'll see, like, as soon as you're hyper aware of what's happening behind your photos, like, then your photos start looking like this. And you'll notice, like, my work is very clean, is what people tell me, because my backgrounds are very clean. I make it so the subject is the only thing that you notice. It's like super important when I'm choosing locations that the subject is the only thing that you notice. So it's a tricky one, Mike, for me. It's a tricky one, but I think here it's just the location that we picked. It's like the glass reflection, great idea, but too many things behind him. It's a miss for me. But again, it's like, I'm following your blog. You still get the smoke, you still get the love, and it's like, just keep pushing. But now I want to see what else you shot, and I'm guaranteeing a photo of the week is one of the ones that you didn't pick. So work on non-distracting backgrounds with your portraits. That's the next thing I want you to be thinking about. That is Mike Stamets. I hope I'm saying your name right, Mikey. This is Thomas W. Been MIA for a bit with life and such, but I thought I'd hop back into the weekly challenges and shooting in general a lot more. Here's my favorite fiance, because he has so many. Here's a shot of my fiance Kendra, shot at Golden Hour, one of our favorite gardens to visit. Take care. This is Thomas W. Thanks for submitting, Thomas. Let's go. Thomas, this is really pretty. This is pretty. I really like, I love the color. I like the tone. I like the sensibility. Like, the focus is there. Exposure and the haze that starts to happen when you're shooting directly into the sun starts to get like a little bit weird. If you look at her skin tone and you look at the sky, it's actually almost the same color. You're shooting into the sun, so she's actually in flare zone, which looks great usually if you don't show too much of the sun, because she has like a sun flare and some color streaks going through her face. What I usually do is I put the head of the subject like around here, and then I expose for in here. So she's hiding some of the light. You're still going to get the same feeling of the backlighting in the hair. You're just not showing so much of the sun. It also, with this particular shot, you can see she's quite offset because you're trying to balance. You're taking a picture of both her and the sun, which the sun isn't part of the photo. The sun is lighting her, but she's the subject. So she has to be the priority as far as exposure, vibe, feeling, and everything. So for me, small thing, it's just when you're trying to do like a sun flaresies kind of a thing, try cutting the sun out and still having this light on her, move her over, have her rotate a little, like try different things. Try putting her head completely in front of the sun. Let the sun flare through the bottom of her hair. You know what I mean? Like, try different things rather than just sun here, her here, take a photo. Like, because again, that's when you're really getting into, the haze. And this haze and the skin tone, like when you look at it this close, her hair looks amazing, but her skin doesn't look like what skin looks like. It's quite under. So it's a small thing, but it's like, it's a beautiful photograph. Like, it's pretty. It's an amazing moment. But shooting like hard backlight directly into the sun is really, it's tricky, and you have to plow. Like, and Dreadfully is asking, would a reflector have helped in this situation? It would have helped some, but it would have helped some, but it wouldn't have helped completely, because you're still aiming and still getting that, like, it's going to kick some light in, but it's still too much flare. Like, you have to adjust the flare. It can't be just full flare. It's too much. So I just put the person's head in front and then be like, ah, there it is. And you take shots and you're like, oh my God, okay, there's her skin tone. There's the skin back. There's the vibe plus some flare. So it's like, it's a tweak, and also rotate them a little bit, position the sun in different spots. A reflector helps, yes. In this kind of a situation, I would use a reflector for sure. Probably the silver side, or the white side if the silver side is too hot. But yeah, that's definitely a vibe. I hope that helps you. And I'm glad you're back to submitting. Again, it's a beautiful photograph. The exposure is just low. And when you start getting underexposed, that's when you start to lose, like, you start to lose skin color and skin tone. And then it starts to look muddy, and then it falls apart. So small things, but big things to watch and things to always work on. All right, let's look at... That was Thomas Wallace, everybody. This is Liza. Meet Geo, my favorite human, my husband of 8 years. Slight overcast day makes soft and diffused natural light. D850 Nikon 85mm ISO 200 f8 at 125. This is Liza. Liza Hyder. Let's go, Liza. Thanks for submitting. This is definitely, yes, Scuba Steve. Oh yeah, by the way, Scuba Steve, thank you for re-upping your photo review cycle. I apologize. I did see that happening, but so much stuff going on during a live stream. Thank you. I have to give you some smoke, my guy. Yes, Scuba Steve. I did see your re-up, by the way. Don't think that I missed it. I was just, I'm talking and answering a question. And this back of mine, sore. All right, Liza Hyder. So, Liza, I love the black and white. You process this really well. Like, really, really well. Skin tone, 100%. 10 out of 10. Contrast, 10 out of 10. Whites, 10 out of 10. The mixed light, great. I love this dappling. That's what this is called, dappling, when the sun comes through like that. And again, it's like he's looking a little stern, but again, he's a gent who's probably not thrilled always about being in front of the camera. How he's holding the flowers looks a little bit like forced. And he's pulling back a little bit because he's reluctant, which is what men do. As I said, men, like Kennedy, go back and to the left. Like literally, they pull back and go. So he's pulling back. And you can see when you look at this frame, it's slight, but he's pulling back, which is making it so he has less chin. You know what I mean? He has a chin. He just has to push out. So make sure when you're shooting your subjects, again, push out and drop their chin, and then that chin shadows underneath. It hides that double chin if they have one, and it looks super, super, super buttery. It looks just like this. So again, like small things like this for you, like outside of your comfort zone. No, you're a fashion photographer. You do this. So I want you to just really master body language. Like, be insane. Be crazy like I am. Watch the hands. Watch the chin. Watch the shoulders. Like how he's feeling. Watch the, like how wide his legs are. Like all of these things are all factors in body language. For me here, I would have had him rotate and lean this shoulder against the wall. So now he's like leaning against the wall, and have him have the flowers kind of in one hand, and then like he's kind of, like, you know what I mean? Like there's a little bit of like approachability that we can get out of his expression. He looks a little grumpy. So those are small tweaks that it's like up to you to like tweak that out of him. And that's part of shooting through the picture, especially when you're shooting portraits. Like it's our job to like pull people out of that vibe. Guys, I'm sure you noticed that number one, I started early at 5 instead of 6. And number two, it's Friday and not Thursday. My show is at 6, always on Thursday, on Tuesday. It's Friday today, which is the day I do not ever podcast. And I have a life and things that I have to do Friday night. So rather than podcasting until 9 p.m., which I would be if I started at 6, I started at 5 so I could get through this. And also, it's YouTube. You guys can watch this after the fact, regardless whenever I start. But I did post. I posted on the community board and I posted in Discord. All right, that was Liza Hyder. So this is Ronan. So unable to shoot with my favorite person this week. So I wanted to ship more towards A&D, meaning architecture and design photography. So I shot a building that I always thought was cool. It's ugly, but I like the fact that you have all the greenery taking over slowly. It's also standing on top of the River Thames. Sony a7 III, Sigma 24-70, f8, 125, ISO 100. This is Photo Ronan, who is shooting architecture and design. So he chose to shoot one of his favorite buildings. This is really well done. This is technically well done. The light is great. The clouds are great. The leading line, the way that you're featuring a building is like, this is a win for me. I like this very much. This is good discipline. This is literally a cover of an architectural magazine. Like, and look at how beautifully editorially this was shot. Nice low horizon line, meaning look at where he's putting his horizon line. Nice and low, so you can feature this building, and nice space here left for the masthead. Like, this is textbook architectural photography. This is incredibly well done. And shot with an f-stop that's giving you literally infinite depth of field. Like, this is incredibly well done. This is, architectural and design is his niche. So his favorite person wasn't available, so he photographed his favorite building. So it's a nice little deke, but I think it worked. Good job. All right, that was Ronan. Thanks for submitting, Ronan. Kirasano only managed to get the natural light part of the assignment this week. Shot with the Sony a7 III with the dreaded Sony FE 28-70, 3.5 to 5.6, f8, ISO 100. Shot at 100th of a second. This is Kirisano. Thanks for submitting, Kirisano. This is a lovely photo. With really good discipline. This is another architectural photo. Like, another architectural and design photo. The exposure is spot on. I really like the infinite depth of field, which is really real important for architecture. Really great discipline with your lines. Your lines are super straight. And I really like this little thing that you included here, which is high. It says, and shoots this arrow that way. Like, small little things. I like seeing the downtown in the background, the sky. The trees give us this little canopy, this little frame, which is a great frame for where the masthead goes. Obviously, the masthead of this magazine wouldn't be pink. With this particular issue, it would be white. But this is a banger for me. This is an absolute banger. I love it. It's great. You're getting an 11. This is an amazing one. Great job. Guys, that was Curaçao. Well done. Thank you for showing up. And I'm glad you're a part of this. All right. Dana MK says, my favorite person and subject this week is my lovely girlfriend, Janaea. We live just far enough apart to make our time together throughout the week limited. So I'm grateful for another excuse to capture her. She's a good sport, but takes some coaxing. Nikon D810, 50mm, 80th of a second, 3.5 at ISO 320. This is Dana MK. Let's go. Dana, this is a great editorial picture. I really like this. Actually. I really like this. There's a little bit of extra headspace as far as where you're dropping her head. But again, if I was cropping this for the magazine, I would take it like... If I was cropping this for the magazine, I would take this, just everything here above, I would just take that away. I would just crop that out. And if I was cropping for Instagram, I would just take this out. And my picture for Instagram would literally probably crop right there. So you can't take anything away from the bottom, just based on how close her hand is to the edge of the frame. So do watch that. I think this part of the picture right here, this the door, I don't think that needs to be there, because if you look at what this looks like with that gone, you can see now it's just white. So I think that you could have cropped that and even biased a little bit more that way. And also watch your lines, because you got this line hella straight lined up with up here, obviously. But now this line is not exactly straight, is it? It looks pretty straight. But up here, you can see how it kind of runs off the edge here. So these small things, when you're including these frames, are necessary. For me, the picture exists right here. That's your crop right there, Dana. That's your crop right there, 100%. So just be super wary, and then you can see where the masthead drops exactly. You still have the headroom and everything. So just a small thing when you're shooting portraits within an interior, how you frame up, where you're standing, how you're moving, in order to like make sure that there's no distractions, and still at the same point have elements that just make the photograph pop. This is what we do. I like this window light coming in back here. This is really inspired, this block of light. I like her hand here and her hand holding the shawl, like the expression on her face, and it's so real and natural. Like, it's a win for me. Just be really wary of your crops, and know, like, if you have lines for reference, like, look at this line. Like, if you have lines for reference, you see how off that line is, and then like this line, and you have this line, and you have so many reference lines to show whether your photo is straight or not. You need to try to eliminate some of those lines so you can have a little bit more freedom with your frame. And because our eye wants to make everything straight. It really does. It wants to make everything straight. Let's go. That's Dana MK. Thanks for submitting, my guy. All right. You're telling me I have... how many do I have left, do you think, calligraphy? Alice says this: I wrangled my husband for this photo. He's my favorite person, and he's my hero. So he makes, he's a very hardworking blue-collar man. He works hard every single day to make the best life for the both of us. He's my private behind-the-scenes cheerleader. He pushes at hard work. so I can go frolic and make photos and chase my dreams. So my goal here was to show a hardworking blue-collar man with his dream car, because he not only works hard for me, he works hard towards his own dreams as well. He takes pride in showing off the things he's worked very hard for. So my vision was a blue-collar man with his sports car. This photo is to say thank you and show my appreciation for the hard work and dedication he has to his family, and not only making my goals, but his come to life. Shot with a Nikon Z6. Thank you for sharing that, Alice. Honestly, it's beautiful. Nikon Z6 Mark II, 200th of a second, 250 f4.5. This is the one they call Vicky Sonic. Vicky, your portraits are getting so much better. Your portraits are getting so, and like, the pictures you're taking of him are getting so much better. Like, this is a magazine cover. It's textbook. Like, and again, Vicky, she's been through my mentorship program. Vicky was one of the first people that like I took on as someone that I was coaching through YouTube. Vicky, your focus is so on. The car looks great. Like, the location is great. The trees, the horizon line's nice and low. It feels approachable, not ominous. Like, it's a car photo as well. Like, this, you hit all the boxes with this for me. And my suggestion, this is going to seem random. But I think you should try to shoot cars more. Like a lifestyle with cars, around cars. What kind of cars do your friends have? Your friend have a new car? You know someone who has a new car? Start trying to shoot lifestyle pictures around that car, or shoot the car itself. You have a way of placing a car in a right spot. And I've been watching you do this with the buses, with the vans and all that stuff. Like, maybe there's something there. So, stay with it. Thank you so much, Calligraphy. I appreciate that. Yeah, very good job. That is Vicky Sonic, also known as Alice. Alice is not able to watch today because she is working on a shoot. But she'll watch the replay. She'll pond a replay. All right, this is Taylor. Taylor says, Momo, my favorite 11-month-old, shot the Nikon Z6 Mark II, 40mm f2, shot at f2, 50th of a second, ISO 400. This is Tay Photo, also known as Taylor. Let's go, Taylor. Thanks for submitting. This is definitely, let's look at the problems when you shoot a lens wide open. This is the problem, is wide open lenses. You shot your lens that is, like, I think you said a 50mm f2. Let's see what it says. 50mm or 40mm f2 at f2, but also at a 50th of a second. So you're shooting at, you're shooting at you're shooting at f2 on a lens that its maximum aperture is f2, and you're shooting a 40mm, and you're shooting it at basically a 50th of a second, which is the minimum, a 50th of a second, which is the minimum, what's it called? The minimum handheld distance that you can do. So the handheld speed that you can do. So you're dealing with a kid that's moving, a shutter speed that's on the border, and you're shooting an aperture wide open. You have no tolerance for in out. So this is although exposure wise and the light and the idea of the photo, like compositionally, look at the composition. It's a magazine cover. Like, it's a cover. The block of green is great. This little triangle toy is great. His saggy diaper, yellow, is great. The outfit that's complementary is great. The bookshelf is non-distracting. There's this little silver thing here that's kind of a little distracting. But overall, like, compositionally strong photo for shooting a portrait of your child at home. But your photos can't fall apart when we go close. And this one falls apart close. And it's just the focus, because you're shooting wide open. You can't, like that. It's like one of the rules with any lens that you have, however wide it goes. I have f 1.2 L series lenses that I never shoot any wider than like 2.5. You know what I mean? Because it's all lenses like it's really hard to get this handheld, and it's rock sharp. Like, it's just not. So that's where we lose it, is when you're shooting, when you're on the edge with your numbers. And if I look at all your numbers, let's just look at all your numbers here. F2, a 50th at ISO 400. So that was the variable that I needed to know. So F2, at, oops, why am I writing F again? At a 50th of a second at ISO 400. So this is what you do. You switch it instantly to ISO 800. Now you have 1/25th of a second at F2. But we don't want to shoot at F2. We want to shoot at not F2. So stay at a 50th of a second. Oops. Stay at a 50th of a second. And now you're shooting at f2.8 because you doubled your ISO. Oops, I'm not even showing you any of this stuff, sorry. Because you doubled your ISO. My bad. I was on the wrong screen. So, this is one way to do it. You also can go to not ISO 800, but go to ISO 1000. ISO 1000, you're bumping another third of a stop. Third. So now instead of 400 ISO, you're doing 1000. So now double that gives me 125, and then so now I'm shooting at basically a 60th of a second at f2, or I'm shooting at a 50th of a second still, and I'm going 2.8, and then 2.8 and a third, 2.8 and 2/3. So I'm going to basically 3.5 now. So just by changing the ISO, you're able to like completely change your settings and avoid this softness that you're getting on your baby. Don't be afraid to bump your ISO. Like 400, like today, looks like 1600 did 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So don't be afraid to bump your ISO a little bit in order to get a sharp picture. Like out of focus picture with a low ISO, oh great, you have a noise-free soft photo. I'd rather see a little bit of texture from your ISO with a tack sharp picture. You know what I mean? I think that's more important. I hope that brought you value. That was Taylor. Taylor with his 11-month-old son. All right, Taylor. Next is Stephen C. Stephen is getting outside of his comfort zone, shooting a portrait. It's the youngest adopted daughter. I didn't get a good group shot, so I had to use a single. My kids are what keep me going every day, and they know how to cheer me up no matter what. I tried to get rid of the runaway hairs, but just couldn't get what I wanted, so I left them. Taken with the Sony a7 III Tamron 2875 at 50mm. ISO 100, 4.5 at a hundredth of a second. This is Stephen Cottrell. Stevie C, let's go, Stephen. Stephen, this is a great flick. Like, again, small things that you can do to fix. And again, you don't shoot portraits naturally. This is something that you're getting used to, but the light that you chose is great. Hey, DLG, welcome. Thanks for becoming a member. And Stefano gifted a membership to you. Thank you, Stefano. Why is my machine not on? Hey, wake up, huh? The smoker machine is not on, huh? It is on. It's just not, it's overheated. Stefanos, give me a second. Let this baby cool down. Oh, there you go. It's back up. You get the smoke right away. Thank you, Stefanos. I appreciate you. And yes, you just got gifted wherever you may be. DLG just got gifted. Your smoke has been conjured. All right, Stephen C. Small things, my guy. Exposure here on this skin is under by, I would call it about 2/3 of a stop. So you can bring that back just in post-production. Next thing, the horizon line. We're dropping this horizon line like right through her neck. What I need is you to like maybe lower yourself and drop the horizon line a little bit lower so it's not, and then you put her face against sky. Now you have her head just against these crazy clouds. That's one option. The second option is you go the exact opposite and you put the horizon line way up here, and this down here, the water becomes your background. So you could literally stand on a table, stand on a picnic table, aim down at her, and then stop the picture right here. And then all of this texture becomes your background. So small things, but you definitely know how to compose for a cover. Like, look at this. It's just super, like, your finesses are very small. A little bit of an exposure adjustment, and always be wary of where you're dropping your horizon line, so your horizon line's not going through the head, through the neck, or anything like that. Like, just push that horizon down so you're just featuring your person. So again, great shot, Steve. Thank you. Stephen C. All right. This is Joshua Haney. My wife, Sarah. She's my favorite. She's my rock. I love how her personality came through in this photo. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. Canon R6 85 2.8, ISO 200, shot at 125. This is Joshua Haney. Let's go, Joshua. Joshua, this is great. Such a natural pick. I mean, great focus on her. Like, you caught her in an adjustment, fixing her hair. It looks super natural. I love the background. It's a very natural cover. This is a great shot for me. And I know that she has other edits. I know that you have other edits of her. Really strong focus on her. I do notice this left hand is a little bit awkward, or it's in an in-between moment. One thing when we're shooting portraits, it's not just the face being right, but it also has to be the limbs and the body language. So make sure when you're doing your edits, and make sure when you're shooting, you say things like, okay, relax your fingers, relax your hands, shake it out, put your hands back in your pocket, like get them like, so they're not just like pose or like in it with their face, but their hands or their body like feels awkward. Like you have to be in the game head to toe. Like you always say, it's like you got to model head to toe. Like that's kind of the vibe. So yeah, just watch her small hand, her low hand. It's a win for me though, Joshua. It's a really great shot. Strong. And a great location. Look at my face. Oh my God, you guys are forever glitching. I'll never get free of the glitches. All right. This is G is him. My significant other, partner in crime, shot with the 1DX 85 millimeter, shot at 2.8, 160, ISO 400, shot at 60th of a second, shortly after sunset on a tripod. This is G is him. Let's go. Really sharp portrait. 1DX, compositionally sound. I mean, I like the idea. I mean, she like this is a great portrait, and for you, somebody who I know is really trying to push outside their comfort zone and find other subjects and have other subjects in front of you, this is a great effort. I want you to watch what you're doing in processing. It seems that there's just a little bit of like motion, it seems. I don't know if the tripod got knocked or if it's something that you're doing in post. So make sure you watch that. I love the idea with the wrap. Whenever you're using fabric, remember you can get a steamer from Amazon for $20 and like steam out these wrinkles so they don't become super predominant. She's wrapped herself lovely. I just wish that you steamed out those wrinkles before this picture. But for me, this is an 11. It's a big stretch from what you've done before. Watch the skin tone. It's going a little bit blue just because shade is blue. Shade is cold. So whenever the sun leaves, there's just an overall blue cast that you notice that's in the trees and in the shadows. So we can color balance that out. Just like adjust your color balance slider to make this just a little bit more warm. That would have definitely popped it just a little bit. And also just give your wifey just a little bit more exposure. This needs to go up like a third. Give her just a little bit more exposure in the skin so her skin snaps just a little bit more. Good job, G. G is him. All right. Where we at? Oh, Mike, Lily. You're running a photography business, especially if you're doing that and juggling photo shoots. I've got something that might be a game changer for you. It's called Indie, and trust me, it's like having a personal business assistant, only it's affordable. First off, imagine creating eye-catching project proposals super easily. Indie helps you do that so you can impress your clients and get more gigs. Plus, there's these ready-to-go contracts which are a breeze to sign thanks to electronic signatures. No more paperwork headaches. Then there's the task management part. You know how you have to keep track of a million things? Indie has a great to-do list and digital tools that let you visualize your work and keep everything super organized. It's really helpful. Invoicing, Indie's got you covered. Send out professional invoices and estimates and let your clients pay through options like PayPal, Stripe, Zelle, and even pay you by check if they need to. Working closely with clients, Indie has a cool client portal where you can chat, share files, and keep everybody in the loop. It's like your project command center. You don't need to use Google Drive. For those of you who are still billing by the hour, there's a time tracker that logs how much time you're spending on each project. Talk about making life easier. And then there's extras like file storage for your photos, customizable forms for all your client interactions, and a calendar that gives you a bird's eye view of your schedule. Here's the kicker. With my promo code Carty35, you can get 35% off your first year of Indie's Pro plan, which works out to be about $7.80 a month if you go monthly, and an even better deal of $5.85 a month if you pay annually. It's $5.85. So if you want to focus more on the creative side of your business and less on that stuff that you don't like doing that much, Indie is your go-to. Click the link in the video description, use my code Carty35, and watch the magic happen. Give it a go. See how it works for you and watch how it transforms your business. Thanks so much. Let's go, Cynthia, Lily, and Mike Lily. I said Cynthia Lily because I saw a picture of you, Cynthia, but it is actually Mike saying my favorite person, my partner, my worthy opponent, my secret weapon, my wife. Well played, Mike. Shot on a Sony a7 III 70-200 G lens at 154 f4 1/40th ISO 100. Thank you for your indulgence. This is Mike, also known as Unscratched Mike Lilly. Let's get in here, Mike. Well done. Well done. The 70-300 or the 70-200, I mean, is like, whenever you're shooting with the 70-200, you got to be at a high shutter speed. And like, if you have a monopod, like something that could make it so it's really stabilizing this lens, because it is quite top heavy. And the longer the lenses that you have, the more top heavy they are and the more camera shake that you get. This is very, very good and very close. Your exposure is low though. Your exposure here is under, I'll call this half a stop. So exposure on her skin here is not burning out, but skin exposure here is under. And the reason is because the light is coming in from behind here, like literally through, and you have her in the shade, but your camera is reading this light and giving you a reading that's lower. So for me, I want to see this processed again at plus a half a stop, give it 50% more exposure, and see how this is going to just snap up. Someone's got a question for me, Calligraphy. So where did they put the like button? Is that what you're asking me? Yeah, I have no idea, my guy. I have no idea where they put the like button, because again, how I see it versus where you see it, how it looks on mobile versus how it looks on desktop. I know the like button's animated now. So when you click the like button, it like animates, which is cool. And if I say subscribe, and you're not subscribed, the subscribe button animates as well. Got to remember to say that more often. So Mike, the exposure is just a little low. I want you to watch the horizon line where her face is. You can see here how her eyes actually drop below 50% in the frame. So for me, I want to get her eye horizon line up around here. So the top of her head now is like up around here. Still plenty of room to make an 8x10, but it just makes it feel like the photo's not so top heavy. Again, you're pushing outside your comfort zone. You shoot architecture, you shoot all these things, but people and mastering portraits is something that has to be in your wheelhouse because of the type of work that I know that you're trying to do. So keep practicing, keep photographing each other. Mike Lilly, photograph of his wife, Cynthia. And now Cynthia photographs Mike. Let's go. They submitted one after another. I don't really photograph people much, but I decided through this assignment that I want to do it more often in an effort to learn how to do it well. Mike doesn't like to have his photo taken and usually tells people that he's in the witness protection program so they won't take his photo. He had no clue I was taking photos of him when I got this one, and he was super focused on what he was shooting. Still, he's my favorite, and I love that we're doing this thing together. This afternoon, the sun was barely in a cloud. This afternoon was sun with not a cloud in the sky. Sony a7R III, 50mm f8, ISO 100, 1/25th of a second. This is Cynthia Lilly. Let's go. Cynthia, this is really strong. This is a strong, it's a strong, like how you call it, like a lifestyle picture where he's doing something, you're capturing him, but you captured it and composed it very much in a cover format, which is really great. You did in fact make a hero picture of him for me. Watch your distance here. I want you to make sure that you're not getting too close to the edges of your frame. Again, when this goes to print, you lose 1/8 of an inch all the way around the photo, which works out to be 1/4 of an inch in total. So you lose. So make sure you don't get too close because you will be shooting for magazines. This space that you left up here is everything and makes me very happy. You shot it as a cover. You knew it was going to be a cover. The exposure on Mike is a little low. I mean, obviously You're exposing for here, which is him, his skin lit, but his face is not lit. And because of that, his skin ends up dropping as like the same as him with you, is like under about half a stop. You can bring the exposure up, but because it's mixed light, meaning the ground is being hit by sun, but he's not, because he's shaded by the hat. So you're now in this, like, if you expose for him, you're going to lose some detail here. It's going to blow out and the sky's going to wash out a bit more. If you expose for what you're doing right now, it's exposing for here, you're going to lose exposure here, which again is under by about a half a stop. So my goal always is to advise to aim towards open shade. Open shade it reduces contrast, or it's got to be sun in the perfect scenario. It's tricky. But this is an 11 though for me. I like it. Again, it's close. I know you guys are both way out of your comfort zone. Watch the fact that there's car back here, there's white things, there's some sort of a platform here that's all distracting from Mike. So small things. What I would have done in this situation is I would have lowered myself, Cynthia, and that would have just dropped all of this horizon and all of this stuff out of the photo, and I would have shot Mike up against this sky. And then these palm trees would have now come in down here, and it would have just been him against big blue sky. That's kind of the idea. That's the next time you try to grab a picture of him when he's not letting you. That's Cynthia Lily. Thanks for submitting, girl. This is Kyle G. Out of my comfort zone shooting this portrait of his 15-month-old son, Parker. He takes time away from my photography progression, but he would do anything for him. I did find photographing toddlers was not the easiest thing. They don't take to 10 posing or direction well. On the plus side, the facial expressions are completely natural, and I think I nailed one here. Overcast skies filtered the sun in front of him, creating a natural butterfly effect. Sony A7 IV 135, shot at 200th of a second at 2.2 at ISO 100. This is Kyle G. Kyle, this is a banger. Like really, really strong. I mean, the monochromatic background is great in this instance because although you did drop his eye line relatively low in the frame, still what works is this monochromatic up here, because you have so much room up here to put masthead or crop or do whatever you want. So this is such a banger. I love the light. The light is great. The contrast is great. How you have white, you have jet black in so many places, and you have this beautiful gray. Like this is, and again, outside your comfort zone. This is a photographer who shoots primarily products and people where it's like people almost as props in the wilderness. So this is like, and again, dude, look at those eyes. Really, really great detail, great sharpness. The 135 is lethal. If you don't have a 135, I highly recommend picking one up. A 135 for portraits is just insanity. And look at how rip sharp the eyes, nose, and mouth is, but then the ears just like liquefy. It's so great. This is a banger from Kyle G. Great job. Great job. Woo! Wow, you guys are swinging for the fences. I can't wait to give you this assignment. By the way, you got to stay to the end of the episode to hear this week's assignment. All right. So Romeo has a submission, and Romeo says this. Romeo says, my favorite person in her favorite colors, shot Fuji X-T3. Romeo. Now, Romeo, you know I love you, my guy, which is why I'm doing this. This is Romeo. Romeo, thank you for submitting, my guy. Appreciate you. As a cover, I mean, obviously you chose pink because you know that's my brand. You know that's my brand. The skin tone is great. Like it looks like you're starting to learn retouching. You're starting to like actually really get in there. What I think we could have done for sure is taken away this seam on the table. That's so easy to do. Just like generative fill. That's easy breezy. Again, the nails are great. The color's great. Like this is a win for me. It's almost like satire. It's almost like how can you make it's almost like a cartoon. Like it's very staged but looks like intentionally staged, which like with the pink background and the really colorful books, like it's a win for me. So this is dope. Super dope. Just retouch the seam out for me, Romeo. Good job. All right. Romeo. And we are on to Dreadfully Blessed. So, good evening, Carty and crew. Perfect challenge. Perfect timing for this challenge. Shoot your favorite person. Well, my favorite people are my kids. My son Tyrell and my daughter Dove. Guess what? Dove just moved in with me, so we were ready to take on the world together in this new chapter. So, shot the EOS R, 80th of a second, 2.5 ISO 125, shot with a 50 millimeter. This is Dreadfully Blessed shooting his daughter Dove. And also, dreadfully, Sean Thomas is a car photographer. This is a great idea. Really strong framing. I mean, this reflection in the glass from this thing that's on the dashboard is a little distracting. I mean, it's super hard to do that kind of a blend and blend that out of the way. But the overall idea is really strong. The natural light, the skin tone is like 100% on the skin. The exposure is really, really, I would say, bang on. And it's also cinematic. It feels, it's movie-like. Like it has a vibe. It's vertical. It works as a cover. It'll work on Instagram. It's a great shot of her. The eyes are great. This is a win for me, Sean. This is great. This is a win. And again, outside of your comfort zone, which, Sean says like he knows that he tried to remove it, but he couldn't do it cleanly. So, yeah. Sean, it's time for a new portrait, by the way, my guy. You got to come and let me take a picture of you. Know that you've cut your dreadlocks off. I shot a picture of you with your dreadlocks, probably the last photo of you with your dreads. Now let me shoot the picture of you with them off. All right. Matthew Sargent. Had a hard time picking a subject for this assignment. I have so many amazing people in my life. I honestly couldn't just pick a favorite. Never shot so many photos as I have this month. It's been a whirlwind. I had my wife in my mind this entire time for this assignment, but I just couldn't make the right photo happen before submission. She's starting a new job, he's starting a new job, and it's hard to coordinate. So he did photograph one of his favorite things, which is his kids swimming in golden hour. I didn't want to choose just one of my kids because he has 3 of them, and it's like him saying, this one's my favorite. That's a bit rude. However, I was able to get this picture of my oldest son, Axel. He's definitely one of my favorite people. All of my kids have made me better people, a better person in various ways. shot at with, I guess, a Sony 75 millimeter 5.6 400th of a second ISO 100. I don't know the exact Sony body that Matt has. This is Matthew Sargent. Matt, you're starting to really develop yourself shooting your kids, you know? You really are. And the kind of pictures that have come out of you in the last couple of days, in the last couple of weeks, the kind of submissions that you've delivered, it's like it's the right everything is the best way for me to describe it. It's the right everything. It's the right light. It's the right mood. It's the right moment. It's the right background. And like the background has been something like you've been able to get mood and light, but not the background. And you're now starting to like round the bend where you're nailing all of the elements in the same photo and you're doing it consistently. So your growth as a photographer, like look at this shot, look at this close up, like you feel it. You feel the vibe. The light is, it couldn't be more perfect light. So for me, this is definitely a win. It's definitely like a magazine cover. And again, it's like the same deep dive, the same investigations, the same way that you've been shooting your kids lately is how you have to now be photographing your jobs, your portraits, your engagement shoots, like with the same engagement, the same craft, the same care, like the same deep dive. It's how you have to do all your shoots, Matt. And you know, I believed this about you. I believed this, that like this photograph that you submitted last week that you won photo of the week for, like I knew that you had that in you. And I've been trying to pull that shit out of you for months, my guy, for months. But you're hitting 2 in a row now. So now I know that like I said certain things in the right way and it's starting to click for you in the right way. So you're actually able to execute the way that you need to. So it's beautiful. Guys, this is Matthew Sargent. All right. Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's like everybody comes to their genius at their own time, you know? Like I try so hard to like shine flashlights on your genius, you know? I try so hard. And when you're making mistakes, I'm also trying to like shine a flashlight on your mistake, because mistakes need to be seen brighter than when you're doing things right. When you're doing things right, you're just in alignment. It doesn't feel like anything, if that makes it like, if in the beginning when you're doing things right, it feels like you feel like elation, you know? But over time, it's how it's supposed to be. So you just feel aligned. And many of you are starting to come into alignment with your photography, which is beautiful. And it's beautiful helping. However I am helping, like understand I'm just words. I just tell you words and I show you things, and I just make videos, you know, but it's incredibly insane how much it helps, right? It's incredibly insane how much it helps to have somebody who's been where you are just make videos for you, you know? That's what I do. This is Mac. So Mac says, I appreciate you for the assignments and making sure that we put in the reps. EF lens 24-105, shot at 85, 1/25th of a second. F14 at ISO 1. Okay, so we got a problem here. And without me even looking, this is the problem. And I got to make these notes. So Marcus Mac, and again, this is a beautiful photograph, but the settings are all wrong. And I want to help you. So let's do that. Okay, so you're shooting 24-105. Okay, so let's write this down. 24-105. What is the rule when it comes to shutter speed with lenses? What's the rule when it comes to shutter speeds with lenses? It is 1 over the longest focal length of the lens. So in this case, what is the longest focal length of this lens? It is 105, which means you can't shoot any less than 1 over 100th of a second. Now, my very, very generous viewer and mod named Steve C just gifted 5 members to this channel. 5. That costs money. Money, money, money. His own hard-earned money that he's giving for many people to now have free memberships. He gave Sam with an ampersand a membership. He gave Lloyd Simmons a membership. He gave Luciano a membership. He gave that cool Kip a membership, and he gave Mr. Jenks a membership. That was Scuba Steve. I mean, that was Stephen C. My bad. Stephen C. I have lots of Steves. I'm Stephen C. Okay, just grab this. I'm Stephen C. We have Stephen, and we have who's also Stephen C. And we have Steve, Scuba Steve, which is also Steve. So I'm Carty, by the way. This is why I go by Carty. There's too many. And then we have Stephanos, of course, which is also Stephen in Greek. Okay, so let's go back to your settings. Oh my goodness, Stimats, Mikey now dropping bombs. Mike gifting 5 memberships. Like, what is happening right now? What is happening? Mike, thank you. Like, thank you. And Basketball Gods podcast just got gifted by Mike. Darren Hall, Canna Startup just got gifted. Miles Scott, DMW Shots, all gifted by Mike Stimats. Gifted, because I got some great viewers and they're generous. So, Mac, thank you. You shot with a 24 to 105. Okay. You shot at... Do you want to come inside now, dude? You want to come inside? Sorry, guys. You want to come inside? You want in? Okay. Chill out. 1 second. Holy. Cheryl. All right. So you're shooting with a 24 to 105, shot at 85 millimeter. You're shooting at a 25th of a second. A 25th of a second. So a 25th of a second. You're also shooting at f14. And you're shooting at ISO 125. So what's wrong with this picture? First of all, 24 to 105, and you're shooting at a 25th of a second. You need to shoot at 1/125th of a second, which you maybe made a mistake, but based on these readings, I think you're probably right. So ISO 125, okay, but definitely not f14. Like, you can drop f14, it's 2/3 down to f11. So we'll call it f16. So if you go to f11, you can now go to a 50th of a second. If you go to f8, you can now go to 1/25th of a second And now you are over the minimum focusing distance. I mean, the minimum like shutter speed that you should shoot with that lens. Like all you need to do is drop from f14 to f8, and now you have 125 instead of a 25th of a second. And you're not like, you don't need to shoot a portrait like this at f14. You can shoot it at 5.6. So, and in fact, it's not a portrait that depth of field is a factor. You don't need depth of field, so you don't need f14. But your problem is when you're shooting with a 24 to 105, which is a zoom lens that has 28 elements, 28 pieces of glass in that lens, instead of 6 that a prime lens has. At a 25th of a second, it looks sharp, but it's soft. And it's soft because of motion blur. And again, it even looks like you're on a tripod, but even still, your person is breathing. They're moving like a 25th of a second is too slow with that lens. It just is. So, and again, Mac, it's a competent portrait. Like it works as a cover. It's compositionally strong. It's like the light is good. Like there's so many elements that are working for you. Just shoot in with more realistic apertures. Apertures go in ranges. It goes like this. It goes wide open to f4. Then it goes 5.6 to f8. And then it goes 11 on to 22, call it. So this is narrow, mid, and tight. When would you shoot narrow? People on location. It's like I go from like f2 to f4. People on location. When do you shoot mid? In the studio or group shots? I shoot pretty much f8 to f11-ish in the studio. And then when do you shoot tight apertures? When you're shooting big groups of massive people, or if you're shooting architecture. So and like when you're shooting architecture, I can shoot a 5-minute exposure if I want. So getting f22 is no problem. So I hope that helps you. Marcus, this is, again, it's a banging picture. It's an 11, but lock in those combinations of numbers, because it's like, don't shoot at a 25th of a second with a long lens that you're not supposed to shoot any less than 100th of a second, and then shoot that lens at f14. Like, that's insanity. Please don't do that. All right, that's Marcus Mack. You'll get this, Marcus. You'll lock it in. I'm gonna have to make some content on light meters and metering and exposure and combinations of those numbers, because this is something that I see often, and I'm gonna fix it. Stimats, have a good night, my guy. Thanks for hanging out with us. Have a good night. Have a good night. What am I missing? Somebody said they had a question. Somebody have a question? I just heard my question thing. Stephanos. Stephanos, did you have a question? What do you mean location I'd use? ISO, no, I'm saying aperture 2 to 4. What I mean is, like, if I was on location, or yeah, exactly. If I'm on location, shooting natural light, and I'm shooting portraits, and I'm shooting one person, my aperture ranges are between f2, mostly f2.5, to, I would say, f4, sometimes 5.6. So this is where I play when I'm on location, but mostly f4. Like, I set my camera aperture priority f4, and then ISO, likely 200, sometimes 100, sometimes 400, and then I roll. And that's it. That's how I roll when I shoot on location. So, yeah, like I'm almost always at like very much of the same settings when I'm shooting on location. Because again, there's too many things that I'm trying to think about. I know I want to shoot roughly f4, so I dance between f4 and 5.6, maybe sometimes 2.8, but I never go more wide open than 2.8 when I'm shooting on location, ever. Yeah, it's too risky. It's too risky for shallow pictures. Too risky for shallow, like one eye in focus, one eye out of focus. You know, I don't play that game. All right, so we are in our last few photos, guys. That was Mac. Ricky De Silva. My daughter, Bella. You have a daughter, Ricky? Let's go. Thank you, Carty. ISO 320, 84 millimeter. 1.4 at 2/50th of a second. Please don't tell me you're shooting at 1.4, Ricky. Wide open, wide open, wide open, wide open. No more wide opens. No more wide open. No more wide open. Let's look at Ricky. Thanks for submitting, my guy. This is a crazy photo, Ricky. Like really, like it's emotionally charged. It's emotionally charged. Like it's a strong cover. Small things to watch. Obviously, like how high up her head is on the horizon. Make sure that she's not so high up in the horizon line, because what ends up happening is it messes up the masthead, and then you have to chop out the masthead in order to put the masthead behind her and blah blah blah. And then you like, so just watch your horizon line. That's the first thing. The second thing is you have really radical cross light. And that cross light, if she was silhouetted, like meaning if she was not silhouetted, but if she was profile, meaning if she was turning her face this way, now that light catches her nose and her mouth and then goes alongside her body. Because her face is turned towards camera, it's like the side light is actually creating shadows on her face that don't really need to be there. Like you're seeing this hard line here. This shadow here is coming from radical side light. This corner light on her chin, or the shadow on her chin. And obviously the texture of her skin. You see the texture of her skin because you're lighting her from the side. That's why you're seeing these bumps here. That's why you're seeing every flaw on her skin, because you're lighting her from the side. So my vibe here, what I would do is you just have her turn her face sideways. So you're shooting now the profile, and her nose is here, and then her mouth is here, and then her chin. That's not how her chin would go, but you know, her chin here, you get the idea. And then now this is all highlight and looks sick. So that's like, make sure you're always having your subject turn into the light. And then you also can rotate, because you have just a plain wall over here. So you can also rotate this way, Ricky, and now hit her this way with the window behind you. The window's here. So you should be standing here aiming this way. And if she's looking that way now you have front light, right? Because this is like, although it looks sick and it's dramatic, it's too dramatic. It's too dramatic. And it's past the point of dramatic, and it's now starting to become unflattering. And it looks like you're not lighting her. If you look at how much of her face is lit, it's actually a very small percentage of her face that actually has light. There's so much of her face that's in shadow. Like, you got to really watch how the head angle is going. Like even just here's the light source, right? So as I start to turn away, watch this crease, which you can see when I'm here. When I'm here looking this way, that crease is virtually unnoticeable. But watch as I turn away, it starts to show up. And as I start to go, it gets really serious, right? And watch the lines under my eyes. As I start to bring the light more sideways, now my eye itself is actually shadowing itself. So now I have dark inside the corner of my eye. And as I keep turning, now it's just a whole shadow mess because the light is coming so far from the side. So like as soon as you turn your subject towards the window, now the light starts to hit and like look proper, which is again why you see me light with the window behind me so often. That is Ricky J. I hope that helps you. And again, watch the horizon line. Don't be so high up with the headspace in frame, but it's a great capture. I had no idea that you had a daughter. Thought you were too young for a daughter. It's a dope photo. Just, I want to see you using light, like differently, like keep pushing. All right. So I think that we have one last photo. Mike Morrison. I took my 15-year-old daughter out driving this week for her first time. Sony A7 R5 70mm, a 30th of a second. 30th, 70mm, 30th of a second. 70mm lens, 30th of a second. 70, 30th of a second. My predictions, soft. I haven't looked at your photo yet. Predictions, soft. Because you're shooting your camera in a car moving at half the recommended shutter speed. So my recommendation is soft. Let's see. It is not soft, but it is definitely backlit. And you trying to like sort of make this, I'm going to take my daughter driving and also use this as a time to take a portrait of her is not really the thing. It's like, it's one thing or the other. Do a photo shoot with your daughter or take her driving. But you trying to take her picture in a car is not going. Like you're in the back seat. So you're not able to get her face. You're forcing a profile because that's your only option because she has to look forward. And then also it's backlit. You're inside a car, which is great. Open shade perfectly, except for when you don't do compensation, because then the camera sees the light out here, which is why outdoors is exposed beautifully, but she is literally 2/3 of a stop under exposed. It's like, this is one of those things where you're trying to, oh yeah, this will work. Oh, my favorite person. I mean, like you're trying to make this work as the assignment. Okay, it's the cover. Like I'm asking you to take a portrait of your favorite person in natural light for the cover, like for the cover of my magazine. But you chose to do your photo shoot that I'm paying you for while you're giving your daughter a driving lesson. That's when you chose to do the photo shoot. So for me, this is like, you're trying to like multitask like men do. Oh, it's like my wife asked me to go over here and do this. Okay, I'm going to do this while I'm doing this. Don't do that for my photography assignments because it doesn't help you and it doesn't help me. Literally. So you taking photos of her while she's driving means you have a great shot of her driving, but you don't have a great shot of her. You don't have a portrait of her, and you don't have a portfolio picture of her that you can use to get you more work, which is the whole reason that I give these assignments. Not just to show your pictures on the internet on my YouTube channel. It's like, it's actually help you be a better photographer. So this is a complete miss of the assignment. It's not an intentional picture. It's a picture that you took while you were doing something else. You can't direct her. You can't tell her to do anything because she's doing something else. And you're just documenting it, which is taking pictures instead of making pictures, which is not what we're trying to do here. So I think this is a miss. I think you need to go out with your daughter and do the assignment, which is shoot a portrait of her, your favorite person, not while she's driving a car, like doing something else, while she's focused on being a subject and listening to your direction. Yeah, this is called a mail-in. And the only way that it works is when you don't mail it in, because this is a photo that doesn't serve anybody except for you documenting that this happened. And it's not ever going to go in your portfolio. It's not going to go on your Instagram, and no one's going to hire you because of it, which all of those three things could have happened if you shot a portrait of her. Hope that helps. All right. So that was our last. I am going to find my photos of the week while you talk amongst yourselves. And literally, here, have a look at this. This podcast is brought to you by Carty Crew merch.
Every piece you see, designed by the photographer you're currently watching. And let me let you in on a little secret. Meticulously hand-stitched by the arthritic grandmothers of our very own viewers.
Well, what?
This creative community inspired this entire line. Your zeal for artistry, your tireless dedication, and your individuality shines in every stitch and design. This isn't just another piece of clothing, it's a badge of honor for every creator out there. From what I see here, they are mostly just black t-shirts and hoodies, but you do you, boo. You actually want me to read the rest of this script?
Oh my God, who is this guy?
From the nuanced patterns to the vibrant colors, everything has been designed keeping in mind the creative soul that lies within each one of us. Wow, who wrote that? There isn't a single pattern, not one.
Oh my God, leave the commentary.
There is hardly any nuance. But it says here, this merch represents more than just apparel. It's an emblem of our shared passion for creativity. Who wrote this? What absolute twaddle.
Wow, this guy's a great supporter.
All of this stuff is kind of basic, to be honest, but I'll keep that to myself.
Okay.
Let the world know you're a part of something bigger. A photographer on YouTube's clothing collection that he actually has the balls to make a commercial about.
Okay, what is going on?
What I meant to say is, a collective of photographers that celebrates and uplifts every form of creativity. I am aware, as the narrator, I'm not allowed to insert my own narrative. But, holy moly, this is horrible.
Wow.
Join the movement, embrace your creative spirit with Carty Crew merch. And yes, he is really calling this a movement. Be proud of your passion for photography. Be proud of your creative life. If photography is your life, flaunt it. The one paying for this advertisement has asked me to make a toast. Isn't this a podcast? Okay, it'll cost you another 20. Let's raise a toast to every photographer, artist, and creative out there. Thanks for being a part of this journey.
This guy's so
Did
patronizing.
that suit you? That was absolutely ridiculous. Please don't make me read anything like that again.
Back to the show. All right, people, we have, and by the way, thank you for everybody who's been copping Carty Crew merch. This is what I always wear. I only wear my own apparel, but thank you, everybody who has grabbed Carty Crew merch. And believe me, it's the hoodie that you buy once and it becomes your favorite piece of clothing. I swear, it will. Bella Canvas blanks. This is why you always see me wearing my merch, because it's the best. Yeah. So yeah, and again, I have to play my own spots because I don't play commercials during my, and you know, when you guys support one of my sponsors like me or Indy, it directly helps this channel. We have our favorite photos, our photos of the week. I do believe, let me just make sure that I'm not missing any. Let me make sure I'm not including any that competition is too fierce for. Wow. Yeah, I'm good with this. Okay, guys, you good? Ladies and gentlemen, this is your photos of the week. In no particular order, these are all like very happy with every single person who submitted. The photographers who win photo of the week are photos that I think could go directly into their portfolio. Like just no question, or directly into a magazine. So these are your photos of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, photo of the week number 1 goes to Sebastian Kawaka. Hasn't copped a photo of the week in a while. Sebastian, welcome back. Congratulations with a photo of the week. Been waiting for you, my guy, to blow me away like this. This is another shooter. Been waiting for a photo of the week from this guy for a minute. Finally, let's go. Photo of the week goes to Calligraphy.
Let's go.
Congratulations, Calligraphy. Photo of the week. Beautiful. Whew. Our next photo of the week goes to Scuba Steve. Congratulations, Scuba Steve. Photo of the week. Let's go. Congratulations. Beautiful, beautiful frame. ISO 3200, by the way. Sick. This photographer, I want to make sure that I again, when newer shooters, I'm still learning you. I know who this is, but I just want to make sure that I'm not. Yeah, okay, good. I want to make sure I'm not messing up. Ladies and gentlemen, your next photo of the week goes to Doyle Daniels. Congratulations, Doyle. Photo of the week. Let's go. Well played. Well done. A lot of photographers that I'm very happy that turned out this week. Needed. This next shooter is another shooter. Needed it. Needed to turn it out this week, you know? All the trials and tribulations and ups and downs. Let's go. Our next photographer, photo of the week. You know him as Durrell Scott. Congratulations, Durrell. Photo of the week. Beautiful. Beautiful portrait. Make sure you stay to the end. I'm going to be giving you this week's assignment. We're going in a radical other direction. Radical other direction. Open for interpretation with one very specific stipulation. We'll see how you guys do on that one. Okay, guys, that was Durrell Scott. Our next photo of the week. Our next photo of the week goes to the one they call Tony. Photo of the week. Tony, your consistency when you submit has been unbelievable. So keep submitting. It's not like I'm giving these away for free. If you miss, you miss. But when you submit, you hit more often than you don't. So you're a good editor. You're really great at choosing the right photo. You're really good at choosing the right photo. So, yeah. It's not just the shoot, it's the edit. It's the one that you pick. All right, guys, that's Tony with a photo of the week. Our next photo of the week. Proud of you. This is Greg Fisk. Photo of the week. Congratulations, Greg. Photo of the week. Very, very, very good. Very good. Small mistake I talked about during your review, but nothing that you can't take care of the next time. Great color combination, great choice of light, great time of day, great horizon line, head space, masthead space. Really well done, Greg. Congratulations. All right. It's another photographer that I've been waiting for. I just jammed my pen into my desk mat and it made a mark. That tells you how happy I am about this photographer. Your next photo of the week goes to Vicky Sonic. Photo of the week. Congratulations, Vicky. Amazing. Amazing job. So proud of you. Like, your progression in the last 12 months has been like unprecedented progression. Like, the confidence that you have, like the person that you came, like you were small. You were small. And now you're like so big, you know? It's a whole different person, Vicky. I'm very proud of you. You help me, you do my TikTok, you do my Instagram, like my behind the picture Instagram, you do my personal TikTok, and yeah, you help so much behind the scenes, and your photography has exploded. I'm very proud. This is Vicky Sonic. Well done, Vicky. Photo of the week. And our last and final photo of the week. Another showstopper. Another showstopper. And like this photographer, like the consistency from this shooter, like it would be hard to not have an ego being this photographer. It would be hard because of how consistent and how often you win photos of the week. And I could do these blind and not even see your name and still award photos of the week. Like, you just have it. You have it with your camera, bro. You really have it. And I really, really want to help you. Like, honestly, I really want to help you turn this into not just a career, but like wealth for you, you know, success, and whatever that means for you. Yeah, this is our next and final photo of the week. This goes to Kyle G. Kyle G, congratulations.
Let's go.
Another banger from Kyle. Guys, those are your photos of the week. If you won, congratulations. You are only judged against yourself. That's sadly, you're only judged against yourself. I'm not judging you against any of the other shooters that are here. Once you set your bar, now that's your bar. So it's like you can't get 11s if you're not meeting the bar that you've set for yourself, you know? Best in show. Best in show is the question. Best in show is the question. Wow. You're going to make me do that, eh? Jesus, I thought I was off the hook. I thought I was off the hook. Best in show is the photograph that stops me dead. Best in show is the photograph that is not just a portfolio photograph, but it's a photograph that would stop anybody dead. And like, best in show this week is incredibly difficult. It's incredibly difficult. I am going strictly this week on difficulty and leveling up for that exact photographer. James, calligraphy can answer that question right now. Sorry, I'm focused, man. In the video description as well. All the answers to that question are in the video description. But it's very easy to become a part of this. But I'm migrating off Discord, and we're going to be doing this a little bit different. I'll make a video about it. I'm torn, man. I'm really torn. I don't like being torn for best in show. These are two completely different photographs from two completely different photographers. But I'm going to tell you, best in show goes to two photographers this week. Two. Best in show, calligraphy, number one. Congratulations, calligraphy. This is magic. This is a magic photo. Magic. And best in show, because you're pressing me and making me choose. Best in show, number 2. And I couldn't just pick one of these photographs, by the way. I couldn't just pick one. Best in show, number 2, Doyle Daniels. Right here. Congratulations, guys. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, your assignment. This week's assignment, if you choose to take it. Technical things have been something that will be the bane of your existence if you don't get a hold of them now. If you don't get a hold of this technical stuff now, this stuff's going to bite you. It's going to bite you later on. We're going to do an exercise. This exercise, you can interpret this however you want. But the smart ones are going to interpret this to show movement. The smart ones are going to interpret this to show movement. This is your assignment. This is a long exposure assignment. You cannot shoot your photograph with a shutter speed quicker than 1 second. 1 second is the shortest shutter speed that you are allowed for this assignment. Now, that's the only brief. Yes, sir, yes. Shoot a long exposure image. One picture. It needs to fit within your niche, and it should show movement. Your exposure could be 10 minutes. Your exposure can be half an hour, but it has to be longer than 1 second. That is it. And smart ones will figure out a way to work this into their niche. Interiors people will use slow shutter speed to blur the people inside the building. Portrait photographers, what will you do in order to bend my brain and yours? How are you going to make a photo of a person? By the way, you notice how this last assignment favored the people photographers? You notice? Guess who this one favors? 1 second plus exposures. There's no limit how long the exposure is. I need one photo. And again, I'm giving you an assignment that's going to be incredibly difficult for you to pull something out of your archives, because that's not what you're trying to do. You're not pulling something out of your archives. You are making a photo. Should you take it at night? Maybe. Should you take it during the day? Maybe. Like, the idea is to somehow show movement, motion, time. You're trying to show the qualities of video, which is a moving picture within a still frame using shutter speed. That's the assignment. So, however you like to do it, and good luck. And again, can you use artificial light? Yes. Can you use natural light? Yes. Can you use LED? I don't care. But stick to the brief. It needs to have a shutter speed 1 second or longer and show movement. That is all. I hope this brought you value. Another commercial-free stream brought to you by the members of this channel. Literally, without the members of this channel, you'd be seeing ads during my live streams, and that would be horrible. Thank God I don't have to do that. If you do watch this after the fact, you sadly will see some commercials. YouTube inserts those. I do need to make a little bit of money doing this because, as you can see, I'm incredibly dedicated to your success. Can't do this for free. I did it for free for literally 2 years with a dream that we would get to this point that we are at right now. There's going to be some changes with the Discord. I'm thinking about abandoning the Discord altogether as a vehicle for my community. I'm thinking about making everything on the Carty method. You just go to the cartymethod.com. The community is there. The pro group is there. Submissions are there. Everything is there. And it gets you off of Discord, and you don't need to use another app. I think that that's actually the future of this channel. Look out for emails, look out for videos, and look out for mailing list information coming out in the coming days talking about just that. In other words, YouTube membership submission level, I'm going to dead the submission level, and you will all have to sign up on the Carty method, which is super simple. Pay your $10 there. It'll be withdrawn monthly, and it'll just happen that way. Guys, if you saw your name scrolling across the bottom of this screen, I thank you, because that means you became a subscriber recently, a believer, somebody who's found me, and I'm bringing value to. If you have a crown next to your name anywhere in chat or on the screen you're seeing, that's because you're a member. That means you are the kings and queens of this channel. You run this shit. Priority answer to comments, priority answers to everything. I do this for you. The last 25 of you are scrolling across the top of my screen because I can only show 25, and it takes me a long time typing these out by hand every episode. Guys, I hope this brought you value. There's a new video that dropped this morning talking about instant feedback loops. Make sure you watch that next. Thanks so much.